I am 24F, and my boyfriend, 26M, wants multiple wives. Should I dump him? Hi there, posting this from a throwaway account, but I, 24F, need some advice about my 26M boyfriend. My boyfriend and I recently had a conversation about sex and marriage, yada yada. He mentioned if he wants to have 2 wives if he earned it. He went on to say if he was rich or like Jay-Z or somebody he would want 6. I have tried to explain to him I find that really weird and it's not the life I want for myself. I want one man for the rest of my life and I want to be the only woman and baby mom. I didn't think he was serious at first, but he really is, and said getting me and making me happy is the first step. He doesn't understand why I wouldn't be okay with that life, and I don't know how else to explain it to him. Honestly, it hurts me and makes me feel insecure, think he's misogynistic, and wonder if he'll cheat on me in the future. Especially after saying sex is just sex to him and he would look at the other woman as just sex, not like how he would look at me. He wants me to change and is making me feel unreasonable. I think I need to break up with him, but what do you guys think? Please tell me I am not crazy because the gaslighting is strong. This one. Edit. Wow. Thank you guys for the amount of input and responses. I feel more validated after beginning to doubt myself. I feel a little sad he waited this show me we are not compatible, but most of you guys are right. We are not and will never be. I want you guys to know I find nothing wrong with that lifestyle. It is just not what I personally want. I will be breaking up with him. Should I dump him? Yes. That's all you need. Do you want to be one of multiple wives? If yes, then stay. If no, then leave. Why is it always the broke fools who talk about multiple wives? Do you want to be multiple wives? Stay with him. Do you want to be monogamous? Break up with him. Don't let your current boyfriend stop you from finding your husband. Lol, yeah, run. He thinks women are accessories and status symbols. Oh God, how much wacky backy is this boy slinging here? You're not crazy, but he sure as hell is. Run free like the wind. I, F27, feel rejected by my husband, M29. What went wrong? I, F27, never thought I would be one of those people who would come on an online forum to question my relationship, as it has always been great, but not sure what's really happening. My husband, M29, complains a lot now about my attitude, behavior. He complains that I'm never serious and always joking about things. He's so easily annoyed by things I say, but we've been together for 4 years. I don't see why it's now an issue that I joke about things. For example, today, I asked him about transportation to a venue for a wedding and I joked that we could just walk there and he got annoyed. I also take a lot of pride in cooking for him. I really enjoy cooking, so do like to watch him for the first few minutes once I've served the food to see if he likes it. He got annoyed that I was standing there staring at him and waiting for him to eat. I said I just wanted to see if he liked the food. He said I don't need to stand there like that. I then said, I just want to see if you like it, don't worry, I haven't poisoned your food, and he took offense, saying he hates how I talk and I don't know how to talk. I was even saying it in a light-hearted way and smiley, so I was taken aback when he reacted that way. It isn't the first time. I always like to find out if he enjoyed the food, especially if I've just cooked it. After that I just went downstairs and decided maybe he needed his space, only to find out hours later he didn't eat the food. I don't understand what's happening. We have always been fine, got on really well and very close. But it seems he sees more and more flaws in me every day. I'm hoping that he won't find me unbearable one day. I'm scared that I will have to harden my heart to sustain the marriage, as he just doesn't seem as tender anymore. Reading the comments sounds like work stress issues. But I went and looked at her profile. He moved to the UK on like a marriage visa for you, right? Has he made any comments about that? Does he feel stuck in the relationship, physically in the UK? Did you live together at some point before marriage, or was it always a long-distance relationship? As someone who grew up in an incredibly sarcastic household, it gets old. I think that it is definitely not a good sign when a partner starts to find stuff irritating that they previously may have put down to the other person being quirky. Nothing wrong with having a joke, but guess the frequency or timing can sometimes be off. About cooking for him and watching him eat it, why don't you two just have dinner together? Or, if he has to eat on his own because you already had your dinner, Then maybe leave him to enjoy the food on his own and ask him how he found it afterwards.
As a man, I would appreciate my wife cooking for me, but would not appreciate being looked at while eating, to see if I am eating or enjoying said food.
Op. Don't stare at people while they are eating. It's rude and off-putting. To be honest, if this is a constant thing, I agree with him.
Just because you are not seeing things as a big deal does not mean he doesn't. You never being serious may make him feel like he can't talk to you about things that bother him because you are just gonna dismiss them as no big deal.
For example, here, he has work issues and you say that you never stress him out about it, so he should not feel stressed about money or work.
Just because you don't see it as a big deal does not mean he doesn't.
And you dismissing his angst as NBD makes him feel like communicating with you is impossible.
You never being serious means he cannot let loose, because he has to be serious for the two of you.
He doesn't feel like he can rely on you because you are not going to take things seriously.
My husband, M25, said he wants to slap me, F30, twice.
We have a toddler.
What should I do?
It happened twice in less than a week. We have been married for more than a year.
There were conflicts and arguments when we were dating, but it has only recently escalated into very unhealthy situations. The first time after everything got cooled down a little, he reassured that he would never want to hurt me.
It's only because he couldn't control his anger. He also smashed and broke stuff.
The second time it happened, today, due to him wanting us to sit in a picnic bench under the hot sun, while I wanted to have some nice shade while having takeouts dinner.
We have a 1-year-old daughter.
The fan that clipped onto her stroller happened to be out of battery earlier that day.
He has history of punching holes onto walls growing up, whenever he was in heated argument with his family. He did threaten to his brother exactly the same way he said to me, by wanting to slap him in the face.
Now this is the tricky part. I am living half across the world from my family, and have been living under the same roof as his parents since before we got married.
At first we moved in with his parents because of COVID. Now we just frankly couldn't afford to buy a place to ourselves, especially with a baby. I did try to ask him to rent out a place so we could be more independent, but he kept convincing me to live with his parents to have some support. I wanted to break up with him and left to go back home several times, when we were dating. In the end, I still chose to give him another chance. He never mentioned anything about physically hurting me before we got married. Question is, what should I do? Leaving him obviously is not the first choice, as I really want my daughter to have both her parents, happily, together. I am really hoping for some constructive criticisms.
My intuition been telling me to let go of this relationship, but my heart keeps saying otherwise.
I need help.
Coming from someone who was raised in a house with a dad that punched and threw things, please don't stay with a violent, angry person.
I beg you. He's clearly always been this way and he's escalating.
Sounds like he waited until after you got married where you felt trapped to start showing his more intentional physically abusive side.
Trust me, it's not worth staying with someone like this, so your kid will have a 2-parent household. It's toxic and will start with them forever. And you both are in danger.
UPDATEME. He wanted to slap you for wanting to sit in the shade? Something that trivial makes him that violent? Lady, he's going to seriously hurt you one day. What if the next time he does the slap rather than just talk about it? What if he slaps your kid instead? You know it's coming. The time to end the relationship was when you first learned about him punching walls.
Now you need to run ASAP. Do you want your daughter to have that standard of a man, of what he's posing? It does the child much more harm, seeing that behavior, than having separated parents. I saw my dad beat the socks off my mom, couple times. She always said she stayed with him for the kids. As the youngest of the litter, it was the worst thing she could have done. Well, do you want to be slapped? And do you want to set that as an example for your child? If not, then leave. He has history of punching holes onto walls growing up.
And you married him and had a kid with him?
Did you think he'd just magically become a nice guy and his temper would poof out of existence? In the end, I still chose to give him another chance.
Why? Why? What you want is not your reality. You want your daughter to have a loving, stable, happy home with 2 loving, stable, happy parents. That is not what you have. Take off those rose-colored glasses and look at your reality. You are teaching your daughter that women should tolerate abuse. Trust your intuition. Call your family. Ask them to help you get home. Ignore your heart and pay attention to your head.
Stop living a fantasy and get out of this reality. I'm a 26F, my 26M boyfriend called my friend cute.
What should I do?
My boyfriend called my friend cute in a private message. I am a 26F in a relationship with a 26M for a few months now. My friend sent me a screenshot of a message he sent to her. They were friends before we started dating and she actually introduced me to him. In the message she was thanking him for his help about something and his reply was, anything for my cutie, insert my friend's name. She thought it was super weird of him to say that to her, so she sent me the screenshot of the message. IDK how to respond or what to do. He doesn't know she told me yet. She replied asking him, why cutie?
And he hasn't said anything yet. IDK, is that normal or inappropriate?
I'm sure he wouldn't be happy if I called one of my guy friends a cutie or something like that. I'm glad you have a friend like that. Good that she told you.
Yeah, it's a red flag.
Location flag.
That's a good friend. Shady boyfriend though.
Hard to spin that innocently. Comes off as he wanted to get with her before she introduced you too. Absolutely not okay.
I'd confront him, but ask your friend first.
She was a good friend for telling you. I doubt she wants to be involved.
That's a good friend you have there. I wouldn't tiptoe around the bush about it. Just ask him about it and tell him how it made you feel. If he tries to downplay it and say you're overreacting, girl, leave.
It's only been a few months.
Yes, it's a red flag. Wait until he's relaxed and just chilling, and then start reading the text to him. Then stare at him. Don't say anything, just stare. Don't react to anything he says. Just stare and watch the circus come to town as he tries jumping through hoop to explain his way out of this one. And then tell him to get out.
Just watch what he does, LMAO. It'll be epic.
Only a few months in dating?
Not sure that it's worth it to try to get him to understand your perspective, to be honest. He chose to type out this message. He intended your friend to feel some kind of way about it. I'd honestly just move on, cite incompatibility, etc.